looks like we're down here again at the Vintage Computer Room where most of the gaming stuff and tournament stuff is happening with, of course, this guy.
I am Sam Rose, the curator of the Vintage Computer Room.
All right.
And one thing that I hate is museums where everything is buried behind glass boxes and you don't get to play. So
all right.
Today we have computers from about 1980 through 2001 in here in the free play. So
that's nice.
The newest one is about 17 years old.
Wow, that's quite nice.
And if I can squeeze in at some point. So you got a couple of 286 machines over here. They're playing the Oregon Trail over here on IBM's third series of personal computer, PS2.
Wow.
There's K-Pro, NEC, a couple of IBMs, and a couple of Compacts.
Okay.
And once I can squeeze in here, I want to show you some of the dorky things that these things do, because computers today are much less interesting, if you ask me, than they used to be.
Ah, yeah.
Hey, we can get on the TI. Well, the problem is I don't know how much that helps with. So around the same time as Commodore, Texas Instruments introduced their first computer, and it's notable for being the first 16-bit computer that was ever sold. Not on purpose, it was because their 8-bit chip wasn't ready, so they just stuck their 16-bit one in. Well, one of the most interesting things about the TI is that they were pioneers in voice synthesis and voice recognition, anything to do with voice. So this was the iconic game on this system. It's called Parsec, and we're going to use the speech synthesizer module. So keep in mind, this is 1981. Listen to this thing talking. If I can remember how to play. I'm not saying I'm a very good player.
Okay. Oh, almost had it.
Almost. It's harder than it looks.
Just gotta print it. No printer.
Oh.
That's not what you want to do.
That's a printer.
So you point a camera at me and I play like that.
I don't know what it is.
And that's all the lives we have.
That's
which
quite
is
nice.
kind of a drag because I wanted to do the other sounds. But let's so while we're waiting for that, there is.
That might make it a little easier.
That is one of Apple's first printers there. So at this convention today, you can draw a picture on Dazzle Draw on an Apple IIc, print it off on this noisy thing, and take it home with you.
Well, that's actually quite nice. It almost kind of looked like either an early version of MS Paint or maybe even Mario Paint.
Reminds me more of Mario Paint.
Yeah. And now that one is.
Okay. All right, Tristan, can you try it? Yeah.
Let's try this once more and see if I can actually do a little bit better, so you can hear some of the other effects. Yeah, here's a boss.
I tried drawing traditional, unless I use like this
You want to do a flood fill and make the background white? It'll print better if you want to print.
Oh, you're actually getting much better at this.
Getting a lot better. My warm-up run really helped me.
Arrows to move, and then you hit the space bar to shoot.
And I literally cannot do like, see the size of that slide?
Now, at some point, I have to go through a refueling tunnel. If you look at the bottom, sometimes you'll see a TI logo come up.
It's the digital artist.
Who the hell is the refueling?
watch.
I think it's that.
10,000 pixels. That's the only
Yep, now I have to.
doing something.
Oh!
Oh, wow.
Oh!
Oh.
And of course, since I died, I get a full gas tank.
Yeah, well, this is actually quite nice.
This was a very futuristic system, but the Commodore was a lot cheaper because it was not a 16-bit system. When TI discontinued this in 1985, their stock went up 25% on that announcement. They were losing that much money selling it.
Yeah. Well, that's actually quite nice.
It's a pretty entertaining thing.
It is.
Let's see. I want that one once he gets done with his game. Howdy, how you doing? Hope you're having fun today. Yes. Your cell phone is probably 1,000 times faster than the combined power of all of these computers here. Yeah, and this is hands-on. So what we're doing is you have a whole bunch of games on these old brutes, and so if I want to say, I don't know, what do you want to?
Return to Zork.
Huh?
Return to Zork.
Return to Zork. Have you played this?
No.
Zork was one of the original text-based games. It came out around like 1981.
Okay.
And so this is a reboot on the series.
I'm pretty scared.
And this is an adventure. So in the original one, all you had was text on the screen, and you would type in a command and say, do this, and if the computer figured out what you were trying to do, maybe you'd go in and open a door and it would tell you, you look into this room and you see this, there is something on the wall, there is something, you have a bad feeling about this, and it would just be kind of like an interactive story.
Yeah.
So Return to Zork is a reboot on it, but I think it came out around 1995 and actually uses graphics and stuff. So in this one, it's very much like Myst, where you point and you click to go around.
Ask that old fool how the road south is.
Oh shit, what did I do? Nothing can live here, not even you. That sounds terrifying. How do I get out of here?
Well, I think you should click to either load or click quit.
Ah, yeah, look at that. That apparently is how you start a game or get out of a game.
This is actually quite nice. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so there's, this computer probably has 60 or so games on it. Everything plays off the hard drive, so there's no need to switch discs and stuff. And see, when you're into retro gaming, the thing you forget about is a lot of these computers were actually a pain in the butt when they were in their day, and so they crashed all the time. They were not fast. They were difficult to get working and stuff like that. Well, your head forgets about all that stuff when you're thinking about nostalgia, but it remembers the good stuff. So by using menus and stuff like this and not having to deal with floppy disks and whatnot, we can enjoy the good parts and the parts that we enjoy without having to put up with all the crap. It's like an old Nintendo without having to blow on the cartridge.
Yeah.
So
That's actually wonderful. So I'm actually really impressed.
So this is, I wanted to feel kind of a little museum-y, so there's signs up around here talking about where these things kind of fit in the scheme of retro computers. This is a funny computer because it looks like a 386 that would have been made in maybe 1990. It's actually a Pentium. So a computer like this would have sold, a low-end computer would have sold for maybe $3,000 in today's money in 1990. So computers weren't commodity yet. They were really expensive. But at the same time, software was really advancing. And so you had to replace computers often. So what this computer had done is it had its motherboard and its memory and its CPU completely replaced with a Pentium-based system, but it kept the case, the power supply, not the hard drive, but the disk drives. Okay. Those are original. The rest of it was replaced, and by doing it like that, you could get a new computer for about half the price of a totally new one by trading in the old parts and not replacing other stuff. So you'd reuse parts of the system.
That's actually wonderful. So I'm actually really impressed, and with all these computers that is lined up around here, that's actually really nice to know.
Yeah, so this is over here is kind of how computers used to be before these ones. You had all kinds of different platforms. You had the Ataris, you had the really old IBM stuff. You can see us playing Load Runner on this old IBM here. The Atari, does this look familiar?
Yeah,
well,
cool classic controller for the Atari.
The computers they put out with were based a lot on their consoles, so you can stick in Atari cards. I don't know if they're the same for like a 2600. I think they're different enough that you can't use them in the console, but an old computer like this, you actually stick the cartridge in and turn it on.
That's actually wonderful.
Or in some cases, you put in floppy disks, which usually don't want to work, and turn those on.
Yeah, yeah, that is absolutely wonderful. But yeah, I'm actually really glad to know that some of these are being put into good use here. So yeah, well, thank you so much, Sam.
Thank you. And if I can get some time, the really dorky stuff is on this one over here.
Yeah.
I want him to finish his level, and then you have no, the guy on the amber hand. Can I steal that computer when you're done with that level? Yeah. I want to show him some really dorky stuff. This computer is entertaining because when I was 4 years old, my mom bought this. Not one of these, that very one. So there's some old crap on here that I think is really symbolic of how we used to use computers in dorky ways that we don't today.
Yeah.
That, you know, there's a drawing on the desktop that my babysitter made. There's screensavers that are really dorky and we used to watch for hours and hours on end. And then the really crazy thing was, in those days, it was an unbelievable upgrade when you got a new computer.
Oh, that's nice.
The very first computer was this one. That's a 10 megahertz 286. So your phone is 10,000 times more powerful than that computer.
Is it really?
Probably.
Wow.
The hard drive holds 120 megabytes. I said megabytes, not gigabytes. It has 1 megabyte of RAM. I mean, these days you'd think, how do you ever use that? But by making really efficient software, which you did in those days, you could get stuff to work.
Yeah.
And so it's 10,000 times slower than your phone, but definitely not 10,000 times less fun.
Oh yeah. I can feel that.
Yeah, these are the ones on the old side. So like that computer there has a 40 megabyte hard drive. That one holds 30 and has a black and white monitor.
Wow. Yeah. That is actually quite nice. So yeah, once again, thank you so much for all this, and I'm glad on how this is going to turn out.
Yeah, it'll be very entertaining.
Yeah. So yeah, any final thoughts for this video?
Well, if you're bored, come down to RetroGameCon some year. I'm hoping to make this something that lasts. It's been 6 months of work or so, and I can't thank the guys who helped me enough for hauling this stuff in, getting it working, making it into something that we can all enjoy.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much, Sam.
Cheers, bud. I helped him. This is Dakota. He brought in the XT over there. A couple of Windows 98 machines.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Yeah, have a good day.
I'll see you at the cosplay contest. It's up on what, the main stage?
Yep, it's up at the main stage.
Nice.
All right, I'll see you until then.
To take some pictures.
Yeah. Oh, we will. See ya, man.